Hey everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening to this, probably on your commute to work or coming home from work or something like that. Anyhow, excited about this episode. Man, I'm going to do my best to not make this a long episode. Reason being, this is one of my closest friends, another one of my day oneers. I met this guy. He requested, this is the first guest to request a monologue. So therefore, I find it fitting to grant his wish. Let me get started. I don't have any Club Shay Shay achievements for you that I can really read off because I don't know. But no, I met this guy back in 1996. AVC, first day of school. I just hear somebody laughing in this big circle, like the middle of the school. And, I'm walking up because I see some of my friends. And I see John Ray, guest to the podcast prior. And I see I see a guy that looks like John Ray. But I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This dude's Mexican. He's got black hair. But John's white. Now, keep in mind, I hadn't been to their house yet. And I'm like, oh, that's his brother. And John was like, what's up, dog? I was like, what's up, dog? And he's like, that's my brother, Kevin. He was like, what's up, dog? What's going on? And I was like, yeah, what's up? From that moment on, I didn't know it was going to turn out this way. But, I mean, it is what it is. One of my best friends. Now, we hadn't spoken a while because you know how the world is I almost said TikTok. We all text through our phones and all that good stuff. It's not like, and I live in another state. But from the moment we met, we became really, really close. He put me on to burning CDs. I put him on to working out. I once gave him a ab workout that he was sneezing 2 days later, and he said his stomach hurt. We just became really, really close. We ditched college together to go to Jack in the Box and eat breakfast with Webigail and friends. I'm not gonna say their name. Who's you calling?
They might listen.
Just very close. We even drove the same color car, among other things. We'll leave that out. But yeah, I just thought about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that too. Yeah, we shared that.
Yeah. Same also.
Yeah. You know what? No further ado, I'm gonna bring in my buddy, my man, Mr. Kevin Ray. What's up, dog?
What's going on, Hollis? How you doing, man?
Hey, why would you call me by my first name?
I apologize. Mm-hmm. I thought we were all in, company here,
Yeah, no, that's when I get rich. I only use that name when I make restaurant reservations. When I was in college, I might have said it on here before.
So you think you're a white
guy? Huh? Spago, the Ivy, all those places. It was hard to get into, and I was a connoisseur of nice foods when I get my tax refund or whatever. And if I was making reservations, I always had older people go, I like your name. And I'm like, I don't like that name. But I realized somebody said, it sounds fancy. I was like, it does, huh? I said, you know what? Yeah, I'd be like, I need 2 or 4 for the Ivy, or whatever. And they go, oh, yes, and your name? I go, Hollis Bowers. And as soon as I would say Hollis Bowers, their whole tone would change. People say you shouldn't judge or whatever. Oh, they thought I was somebody. As soon as I said that, they were like, oh, Mr. Bowers, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. But if I just say, yes, Keith, not the same.
They thought you were a rich white guy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's put it right on the nose. Yeah, that's exactly what they thought. They thought I had an ascot around my neck and I had a cigar in my hand.
Hollis. No one names their kid Hollis nowadays.
No one, including myself. My dad was like, if you have a boy years ago, you're going to name him Hollis? I was like, no. Why not? You got to keep the tradition. Because my dad's name is Hollis and my grandfather's name is Hollis. Yeah, if I really wanted to get fancy, Hollis Bowers.
But you didn't. but you didn't name your daughter Phyllis either.
No, fool. No, I did not. See, that's what I'm talking about, folks. We're gonna try to stay on track, but we got so many inside jokes and so many old jokes that are still relevant. You got to understand, Kevin is, for me anyway, is most of our kicking it per se was at a time that this podcast is based on, those early years of, we all graduated high school and now we're about 2 years out, and yeah, we're in college, but we don't know what we want to do. And we were kind of all, he would be one of the people that, hey, I heard such and such is make this much money. I heard this. Yeah. I heard so-and-so is hiring. I heard if you go into this program, like we were always searching, because I don't think any of us, right off the top of my head, just had this love for something and just went that route. And that was that. We were all still trying to find it. I think we all turned out.
It's funny. It's funny. It's funny you bring that up, right? Because I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, what are we going to talk about on this pod, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking like, yeah, back in the day, like, when I worked at the city and stuff like that, and Keith was down there, and I was like, we'd be hanging out at Keith's house, like you said, burning CDs, and we'll get more into that stuff. Right. And you're talking about like, what we going to do in life, where, yeah, like I know that's one of the questions that you asked, and we'll get into that. But yeah, man, like you said, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, what I'm going to do. Right.
Well, let me ask. It was a time.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
I gotta start the show with the same question I always do, which is, what did you want to be when you were growing up? Let's get it started.
So like I sit here and I try to think about that, right? And I'm thinking like, all right, I used to play basketball, with John and stuff, and I was really into science and things like that growing up. But I never, if I had to sit here and like put my finger on something, I don't think there's nothing that really comes to mind where I'm like, I want to be an astronaut, right. or like your boy, who wanted to grow up and be a dentist, right? Like the little boy from the Rudolph cartoon.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah,
I want to be an orthodontist.
Yeah, that's based on. Well, I don't know. I want to be a nerd, but I had my wife watch that actually years ago. She's like, I do not want to watch this. I said, you tell me where this story comes from, or it's from a movie, obviously Elf. But yeah, she watched that. She's like, a dentist? I said, I don't know why they chose dentist for that cartoon, claymation or whatever it was. But yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's funny that you remember that reference. I want to be a dentist. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't. There's not really anything, and that kind of leads into like, just life, right? And like to kind of fast forward, I mean, going through school, elementary, junior high, I didn't worry about none of that, dude. I wasn't focused on what I was going to be or what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And I think it really like you talk about, right, when we're at AVC, right, and I'm like like I could have graduated with a master's from AVC, right, for going for like 4 years.
Man,
right?
You and me both, dude.
So, and it was just kind of like taking my prerequisites, I think I took a kinesiology course, to learn how to wrap some ankles and stuff like that. Right. But my time, like thinking about like when you said like at that one spot in the quad at ABC where we all would just hang out and we'd all be kicking it over there. And then we'd ditch class and go to Jack in the Box, like you said. And I was wondering if you were going to remember all that kind of stuff, because those are the things like that I remember from back when we were younger. It was like Keith and I used to ditch class and go to Jack in the Box, and like you said, we go hang out with Webigail and the cheerleaders.
Yeah, yeah, and be like,
I wasn't concerned about what I was going to be.
No, not at all. I just remember be like, you got class, because what would happen is we'd have that 8 a.m. class. It would let out at 9. Stupid. And you had a class at 10, at least it was my story, and it'd be like, well, I got an hour, knowing dang on well I'm not coming back for that 10 o'clock class. And it'd be like 9:45. We're still laughing at Jack in the Box, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going. You going? Nah, I ain't going, dog. Nah. Like, all right. All right. Well, my next class is until 12, so I can kick it for 3 hours in Lancaster for no reason. Yeah.
Not going to that one either.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just like, it was just like I remember going to school and John would go for like a 8 a.m. basketball class, right? Or 8 a.m. whatever, right? Where he'd go and do it. And I would, at the time, I don't know if I had a car. I mean, I had a car, but I used to go with John and I just pass out in the back of his Honda hatchback.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. His look. He had a hatchback Civic. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd hang out. I'd pass out in John's hatchback, take a little nap, and then go to my classes, right? And but yeah, man. But I mean, to get back on the topic, like I never really. There came a time when we were at ABC where I was like, I'm sick of this shit. I want to learn IT.
Oh, Kevin, I
right?
forgot. I forgot, Kevin. There's no cussing on the show.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No. I'm warning you so that I warn myself subconsciously. Yeah, I'm not a saint, viewers or listeners. I'm not a sailor either. But if I get rolling on a conversation and forget I'm recording, yeah, you might be a different key. But
no, I'll make sure to watch myself.
No, that's all good.
But yeah, man, and I was like, I want to get into IT, right? And this was what, like you said, 2000.
Yeah,
probably by this time, right? Like I said, we were
98, 99, right in there.
Yeah. So I decided, I said, you know what? I'm sick of going to AVC every day and not knowing what the hell I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to a tech school, right? So I went to a tech school and for information technology, right? So I would drive down to Wilshire and West.
Wow.
In LA every day, bro. Yeah, it was stupid, bro. So I would wake up in the morning, butt crack, drive down in traffic all the way to Wilshire and Western, go to a school for my certificate in network technology, finish that, got a job in Palmdale, right?
Yeah.
As a IT manager for a construction, civil engineering company. They're still around here also. And then from there, that's where I've been in IT ever since, man. So like me and Plez kind of have a similar kind of a background. He's more of like infrastructure, Cisco switches and routing and stuff like that. So he's more like how the internet works. Without people like Plez, there'd be no internet.
Right.
So where I'm more, and we get into kind of where I went from that, but now I do more so of like information assurance, cybersecurity, so stuff like that, more like protection, because I work for the DoD, right? I work for the government. So, yeah, man. So, but I mean, I don't want to skip too far ahead, but
no. I have to ask you where you're hiding your silver suit. I know where Iron Man's is, but you're the dude in Iron Man with the silver suit. You show up when he can't handle it.
Yeah, right.
We'll get to that. But okay, so you went into IT. I ask everybody what was that moment when you knew, like, what motivated you to go that route? Like, was it something you saw? Was it a tinkering in your mind that you just were ignoring? Why not paramedic? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why was it IT?
I'm going to age ourselves, right? Even more so, right? So,
okay.
Excuse me. So I remember, back in the day, John can tell you, all our friends, right, that used to hang out at my parents' house. My dad came home with a Pentium 1, right, computer, right? So we had man, I'm talking like it was like 100 megahertz, right, which is like nothing.
Right.
So, and I remember, you'd watch I'll put in quotes, a nature photo that I'm downloading on the computer.
Oh, yeah.
And it was line by line, took 10 minutes, bro. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. But my dad came home with a computer, dude, and I went to, I was interested in computers and how they worked. And I remember after a while, I started, taking that thing apart, learning how it worked and stuff. And I think that was kind of what kind of got me into IT, right? And I was always big on science, right? Yeah, here's my Al Bundy moment. You ready? So I won my 5th grade science fair, right?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Shout it
Yeah.
out,
So
you know?
with the teacher that John had brought up, Mr. Wick, that he
Oh,
had
same
really
person.
influenced him. Yeah, man, we had the same because obviously John and I were only 17 months apart, right? So he was always ahead of me, right? So which was cool because going into junior high, going into high school, I already had like a an established group of friends, right? Coming right
Right,
into
because you
school,
guys were so
you
close.
know?
That's why I didn't know you guys were that close in age. I guess that does make sense.
Yeah,
Wow.
man. Yeah, 17 months.
You guys
So
always seemed
you know,
like, I think I might have said it on his episode. You guys always seemed like twins, but you weren't twins. And I don't mean looks
no.
wise necessarily, but the way you guys carried yourselves, like, hey, we're all going to go to breakfast. Let me see if my brother wants to go. It's
Yeah.
like all the
Yeah,
time, all the
we
time. You
all
guys were
yeah,
best
we're
friends straight
very
up.
yeah, we hung out a lot. Like I said, I tell people, I still tell people, I said, yeah, I got a brother. They're like, oh yeah, you got a brother? I said, yeah, man. First thing I say is white, blonde hair, blue eyes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They look at me, they look at me
I
like,
didn't
what?
understand until I went to your house the first time. I was like, oh, okay. You took more after your
Your mom.
mom.
Yeah, my mom.
Now,
Yeah,
where's
for
your
sure,
mom
man. My
from?
El Salvador.
El
So my mom's from
Salvador.
El
Okay.
Salvador. Yeah, my mom's from El Salvador. So I definitely have the tan skin, the darker eyes, dark hair, and my brother got all the sides from like my dad's side, right? So
Right.
he's got the blonde hair, the blue eyes, the pale, white skin.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, it's a trip, man. Just how it worked out, and people don't believe me, but then when they see pictures, they're like, oh yeah, you guys look alike,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
No,
know?
it's the same for me and my brother. They're like, you guys are like, because we still work together now out here. And, you know, sometimes, depending on what you do for a living, there aren't too
Uh-huh.
many people my color. So they'll be like, nah,
Yeah.
it was another black guy. And I'll be like, oh, big guy. And they go, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I go, oh, yeah, no, that's my brother. That's your brother? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, really? I didn't know you had an older brother. I'm like, they assume because he's larger than me that he's older than me. And I'm like, no, he's my
Yeah.
little brher. And they're like, shut up. And I'm
Like,
like, yeah,
yeah,
man.
like baby Huey.
Yeah,
Like baby Huey,
exactly.
bro.
Exactly. Um,
If you got, but I think it is. I think the thing is you put you, Kelly, and Ashley all in the same room, and people see your eyes, and they automatically go like, oh yeah, there it is,
yeah, oh, that's all it is.
right? Y'all got those
That's
eyes.
exactly what they say. They always go, "Oh, yeah, 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 okay, yeah, I see it now." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're looking at my face. I
Yeah,
know what you're thinking." Um,
yeah, yeah.
and what we mean by that,
They
folks,
wouldn't
is all
confuse.
three of us have an eye patch on our over our left eye. We all lost our left eyes. No, I'm joking. No, we all have left eyes.
Pretty
um,
eyes, pretty eyes. That's what Keith used to go
oh, shut! I knew
back
you
in
were
the
gonna
day.
say that. I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, this dude used to always. Well,
That's what we used to call him. I didn't call him Keith. It was just, hey, pretty eyes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Almost from the start too. And then people would turn around. Who are you talking about? I'm like, shut up, fool. Oh yeah, look at me real quick. Look at me real quick. And I'm like, shameless plug right now, guys. But no,
Yeah, I was trying to help you out, bro. I was trying to help you out. See?
this is an audio podcast, so
Yeah, I know.
until I start a Patreon, which I'm actually thinking about. I don't know how big time you got to be to start. I don't know if you know what a Patreon is, or folks
Yeah,
out there, yeah, where you ask people for money. You can donate money to the
yeah.
podcast to help a brother out. Yeah, no, I've actually thought about, because of this basement. As I look around, this is where I record. Some inspiration for it is from the Dan Patrick Show, and he always had stuff in his I don't know if that show's still on. Some people know what I'm talking about. Sports show. It was just an eclectic mix of stuff, and I'm like, you already have a backdrop for video podcasts. I think it'd be a good idea, but then I really got to get dressed and do my.
Just the top half, bro. That's all you
Yeah,
need.
that's true. Just make sure I don't get up like those videos where
Yeah,
people are half naked.
yeah, you just can't be chest naked. As long as you got,
Yeah, right, right. Okay, so you started taking computers apart. You knew
yeah.
that was what you wanted to be doing. So AVC, when you were there, I know you can probably relate to this. Was that just more of, well, this is what we do after we graduate high school until we figure it out?
Yeah, man. So that's kind of what it was, right? It was like, okay, I'm done with high school. Now I go to college, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I wasn't a stellar student, and my parents and family aren't rich, right? So John and I are at ABC, right? So we went to ABC, and even then, man, it was more like, to be honest with you, bro, I ain't even gonna lie, right? Like going to ABC was part like staying on my parents' insurance, right?
Oh, okay.
Because I was a full time student, right? So as long as you're a full time student, I could stay on my parents' insurance, right? And stuff like that. So I would go to ABC. I'd sign up for my full load. What is it, like 12 units or something like that?
Right.
And I knew that, like, as long as I don't drop my class,
Oh
I have
gosh.
up to this date to drop my class, and I can still show that I had a full load,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
I was in the same
I
boat.
would drop, yeah, and I would drop classes, and then I'd be like, all right, cool, I only got two classes now, and I can spend more time with Jack in the Box with Keith, right? It's
Hey,
like,
for the record, guys, I wasn't always at Jack in the Box. I did go to class. I got serious. I remember that first year. Oh yeah, man, we were all hanging out. Like that was just. I don't know about Palmdale High, but I know Highland. They ran that place like a prison, just with security and all that stuff. To like be able to leave or not come to a class and it just be the afternoon and like nobody cared. Like that took some getting used to. But once you got used to it because you realized you really hadn't completed more than a year in almost 2 years' time worth of school, um, I got serious because I remember I think it was between Keith Studley and your
Studley.
brother. Um, they were both starting to get serious, and we had conversations about transferring and getting out of AVC. And the AVC, for you guys that don't, well, some people know exactly what we're talking about. It felt like an episode of The Twilight Zone. You would go talk to your counselor, and no matter what you completed with good grades, they'd be like, well, you still need these prereqs. I always thought they were being crooked. I'd be like, wait, what? Yeah, you still need these 7 classes. And I'm like, dude, I've been here 2.5 years now. And they're like, yeah, well, 7 classes. I'm like, I can't take all 7 in one semester. Yeah, so probably another year. Yeah, you could get out. And I'm like, dude, I thought I was, dang, who gets out of this place? And I don't know. It wasn't until one counselor, there was a guy named Coach Pag, who is he was like a weightlifting coach. I took weightlifting class. That's what got me started in lifting weights and working out, with Coach Pag. His daughter was a counselor and she was new. And they must not have given her the memo on, hey, keep these people here as long as possible. And I remember, I'll never forget, she looked at my stuff. She's like, wow, you took a lot of classes you didn't need. And I was like, what? And she went down my thing. She goes, to be honest, you could transfer right now. And I was like, what? I was like, oh, I'm already ready? And, dude, it was almost as though, I mean, I'd never been to jail, but it felt like, or prison, but it felt like they said, oh, no, we can get you for time served. Like, yeah, no, we can let you out tomorrow. I was like, I remember the spring semester. She goes, yeah, you could be at CSUN by the fall. I was like, oh, and that was fall of 2000. And boy, I remember she was like, you should just do, I think it was like one class over the summer. I was like, done. And I went and did that class and I got the heck out of there, man. It wasn't even, at that time,
Yeah.
it wasn't even about getting out of AV. It was just getting out of that school. It was such to me, a depressing campus with the 70s colors and the panels on the wall. It just, oh man. I mean, CSUN wasn't much better. It just looked like something from the 80s, but at least I accomplished something getting out of that
Yeah,
school.
I think that's kind of what it was, bro. It was just like being there, and just you got into the groove of doing that, going there, and then you look at your classes and you're like, all right, I got these classes I still need, and you do those classes, and it ended up just being like you said, man. It was like the Twilight Zone, bro. Like you're just like Groundhog Day. I'm here again, and
Yeah.
eventually I just said, like, you know what, this ain't working for me, man. Like, I'm gonna start a career, and I need to go, because even then, like, even if I went to college, I didn't know what I was going to go to college for, right?
Yeah,
Because
or
it
be
just wasn't
guaranteed
my
that
thing.
you would have a job when you get out. And
For sure.
we're not advocate. If college is your thing, great. You
Yeah.
know, I have daughters that are one daughter that is in college, and you know, she's going through what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Where she'll tell me like, "Daddy, I don't like school," and I'm like, "I know,
Yeah.
I know," and she's just like, "I just want to go somewhere," and I know what she's saying. Like, she wants to learn a trade and like nursing or something, like just get it over with, like, and know that that's the path she's going, because it's just too much of a gray area with school.
Yeah.
For me and Kevin, it was.
Yeah.
You know, too many possibilities, but it seemed like no possibilities, really.
But the thing is even though the whole AVC and then me going to a tech school, which we'll get
No, go
to,
for it. Go
I
into
came
it.
around full circle, bro. I came around full circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like I said, well, it's a part of the path that led me to where I am today, right? But yeah, man, I went to tech school. I went for information technology, right? I got certifications that are still around to this day, that are, you know, important industry certs. And it's one of those things where people go, and you go to the school and they're like, and Klez will know this certification. There's a certification called CCIE. It's a Cisco cert for it's like the equivalent of like a doctorate in like networks, right?
Ah.
And you go to school and they're like, when you get out, you can get a CCIE and you'll be making this. Mind you, this was back in like 2000, right? They're like, you'll be making $100,000 a year. Cisco will call you to get a job,
Dang.
right? So you're like, oh my God, this is great. And it's one of those kind of things that they still do with people today, right? You got kids. I got an older daughter. She went to school, and they come out with this ideal, you know, I'm going to get out and make 150K because that's what my teachers told me. And they get out and they go, what? How much? 80K? You know, that's what you're going to offer me? Like my school told me I can make 120 right out of school.
Right.
You know? And that was, you know, but I came out and I got a job. Like I said, I got a job doing what I wanted to, right? I was, before that, I was up and down the West Coast doing, I worked for a company that did digital radiography and stuff like that, I was installing networks at like dental offices, right?
Oh, okay.
Up and down. I was driving down to like, Anaheim, all sorts of places, like daily, dude.
That's
it sucked, bro. Yeah. So one day I was at a job and a guy goes, "Hey man, you live in Palmdale? There's a job I saw at this place called Aero Engineering." And they're like, "You should apply to it." And I was like, "Holy crap." So I went and applied to it and they hired me. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked there from about 2001 till like 2009, right? I was there doing IT, studying, taking certifications, and I got a call one day from the government, you know, about a job over at Edwards Air Force Base. So I went and I interviewed for it. They hired me. So I started off at Edwards Air Force Base, and I was working on a program called the Airborne Laser, right? So there was a modified 747. I mean, you've been in a 747, right? Big, huge jumbo jet, right?
2 times
Imagine
last week.
the seven.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was flying cross country.
Yeah. Come on. Who am I? You know.
Keith flew me to the studio.
Are you crazy? Today. You know who you're talking to? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So, but huge 747, right? Imagine the 747 gutted, right? Gutted, filled with chemicals and freaking wires and cables, bro. And this was a big old jet that would fly up in the sky and shoot down missiles with a laser.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, crazy, bro. So, proven technology. Shut down what's called a forward.
Oh yeah, get into all of this. I love it. I love
it. It was a chemical laser. It was a I forgot what the chemicals were, but it's so crazy. You're sitting on Edwards, right? There's this big old tower out there with this big like circle up on top of it, like a big like dome.
Yeah.
And it's filled with chemicals, right? it's just filled with chemicals for this laser, right? To be able to shoot down missiles. And I remember sitting at work one day and they're like, shelter in place. There's a chemical leak. I was like, oh, great. We're all going to die, bro.
Yeah.
Right. Like all this, and luckily we were upwind from it, so it wasn't an issue. Right. But yeah, bro, you're sitting there working on this thing, and I did all the, I used to do the networks for the Missile Defense Agency. Right. So I did all the network engineering stuff for the MDA. I would get stuff off the jet after it flew and did this thing, and I would upload it to a bunch of doctors over at MIT and stuff like that, where they would do whatever they need to do with it. But long story short, the airborne laser, right? We're sitting there one day. It's so crazy. I tell the story to people. We had this whole big thing where they were going to do this shot right over like Point Mugu over the ocean, and they had what was called a FMA, a foreign military asset, which is pretty much a missile that we stole from some other country, right? That we got.
Dope.
So
love it.
Yeah. So it's like, so we can say, hey, we can shoot down your missiles. Look, we proved it, right? Kind of thing.
Right.
So we're sitting there, right? And everyone's in this like auditorium and we're watching this. It's like on a movie, bro. It's like on one of those movies where it's like, oh my God, if they don't do it, the world's going to end. Right?
Yeah. There's a big old clock right in the middle of the room.
Exactly. Right.
With it counting down. And there's a man with a microphone in the corner going 5, 4.
Yeah,
3.
Exactly, right. So we're
like
Austin,
I'm just thinking Austin
this.
Powers.
The
first
it's just
one.
a guy over there.
Abort.
You skip
abort.
like Spaceballs. Yeah, Spaceballs. You skip 3. Oh, just kidding, right?
Yeah.
So we're sitting here watching this thing, bro, and we got screens up, and there's generals there and crap, and they're like, the valve is stuck, and they're like banging on it with a wrench, and we're like, what the hell, bro? Because we got audio and everything going, and they're like, the valve is stuck, the chemicals won't flow, and all the missile's already launched, bro. And then all of a sudden the valve gets released, right? And the missile, and it's a infrared laser, so you can't see it with your naked eye, but on an infrared camera, you see it, right? And it freaking shoots, it hits it, and it tracks it, and it blows it up, and it keeps tracking it and blows up like the largest piece that was left. Everyone screams, bro. Everyone's like, oh, this is great, right? And this whole thing this is all like top secret crap, right? And stuff. And they're like, no one talk about what we saw today, right? This is all, top secret. Bro, next morning, it was on YouTube, bro. Exact video
I was going to
watched.
say that people were selling T-shirts outside the forum. Yeah.
Next morning, bro. Next morning, the exact video I watched is on YouTube. I was like, you guys are kidding me, bro.
Wow. But you know what? What year was this?
2008, 2009. Oh, no, this was 2010, 2011.
Okay. People still believed what they saw. Nowadays, we live in such a weird time where we don't know if it's AI. And even if we find out it's real, for some reason nowadays it's like, oh, whatever. Like, eggs are $15. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even, like, years ago, that would have been like big news. Like, dude, I remember Matt was in the military, Matt Aguilar. And when he would come home, because he couldn't tell me over the phone, he would tell me about a lot of stuff that was classified he couldn't talk about. And that was like a big deal, technology-wise and things that we were, he knew about. He said, dude, the video you're watching of the shock and awe campaign, that's all from months ago. And I was like, no. Bro. And he goes, the people taking their shoes off and beating, the statue. He goes, yeah, no, that already happened. That's like, he was telling me all these cool things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. But nowadays we have access to so many things that would make people's heads explode back in 2000. And like it just seems like nobody cares. Like, but
don't make me put on my tinfoil cap, Keith. Okay?
Oh, I know.
That's a conversation for another day, bro.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Well, you know what? But your tinfoil cap is probably better than most because you're seeing stuff every day where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Matt had some. Well, he didn't have a tinfoil hat, but the things he was telling me about. I'll put a button on this. I remember 9/11 happened, and this new dude, Osama bin Laden, the new Cobra commander,
Yeah.
and he called me because he was already in the Air Force at that time, and he was stationed over there. And I was like, "Dude, are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, I was supposed to come home, but I can't come home now. We're getting started on a war. And I was like, a war? I was like, oh yeah, this Osama bin Laden guy. For some reason, he could tell me this on the phone. And he goes, oh no, we're not. We'll eventually get him, but that's not who we're going to war with right now. And I was like, who? And he goes, Saddam Hussein. I was like, Saddam, the dude from the 90s? I was like, what? Iraq, I was like, we took him over in a weekend with Desert Shield and Desert Storm back in
He's still
91.
around?
Huh?
I said, he's still around?
Yeah, no, yeah. This was in September, right? Literally like 2 days after September 11th. And I said, wow. I said, Iraq. And he goes, yeah, dude, it's huge. He said, we're going over there to set up, because he was doing IT as well. He's like, we're going over there to set up infrastructure right now. They're not even, to be honest, they're not even worried about that other guy. And I was like, oh, wow. I said, okay. That was in September. I finally saw him because he went ahead and got out in like, we did the Shock and Awe campaign in March, I believe, of the following year. And that's when he told me, he was like, oh, dude, every day I would watch from my office on the base out there. He goes, big, huge bombers take off, fly over, and you could see them fly over just a couple of miles away, and they would just have coordinates, and all day long, from morning till night, they would just bomb the same area over and over. He said there was like nothing there, and they would just boom, 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 and land, pick up more bombs, go right back over. He goes, every single day. You just got used to seeing it. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that's a trip. I don't know. I'm a little weird. I think it's cool, but.
Yeah, that was back when, because I was living with Johnny back then, right? We were living in a condo over in Lancaster, and he got called off to war, bro. He had to go to war, so he was in the Marines, and he was a Marine Reserve. And I'm living here, bro. We got this sick condo in Lancaster. I mean, we were cool, bro. We were good, and then this fool just has to leave, and he just left, and I was sitting there by myself in this condo. I'm like, well, that was cool. Right? Johnny, Johnny left and went to war, bro. Yeah, the fool went to war. Hey, props to Johnny, still paid his rent, from war.
Wow.
So, he went to war, and he actually, I believe, like his squadron was part of like the guys that like stormed Saddam's palace and shit.
Really?
Crap. Yeah, bro. So he would tell me stories about things and stuff like that too, man. I mean, but yeah, that was that whole time, right? And what's so funny is going back to like that airborne laser. So we shoot down this laser or this missile, and people are like, "Oh my God, this is great!" Government canned the whole program. That thing's sitting in a that thing's sitting in a boneyard, out in the desert somewhere, man.
Wow.
They were like, that's great. They're like, proven technology, but we don't need it.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of get it. I mean, imagine a 747 filled with chemicals flying over your house, right? And it gets shot down.
That's what I was about to say.
It's probably not the best thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it got replaced. It got replaced with solid state lasers, which are much more short range, not as strong as a chemical laser, but those are the kind of ones that sit on like naval ships and stuff like that.
Yeah, they don't have
that are more so. Yeah, they're in the vicinity already, right? Because mind you, that whole airborne laser, if I need to know that someone's potentially going to shoot a missile for me to be in the airspace, right, ready to shoot it down. So it's kind of, it's not like you're going to have like 100 of those things flying around the globe.
Just flying around just in case, like
just
Terminator
waiting,
2.
Right?
Yeah, just looking for trouble.
Exactly. So after airborne laser, that was like 2011. I ended up that got canned, so the program got decommissioned. So I ended up getting moved over to the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter program. So I was doing, I don't know if you're familiar with the Joint Strike Fighter and all that. But,
I am. But for those that aren't, it's
It's the latest generation fighter aircraft. There's an F-22 Raptor, which is strictly air to air combat. The F-35 is air to ground and air to air. So it can drop bombs and shoot missiles and stuff like that. Awesome aircraft, multinational. So when I was working at F-35, I was there as the I was doing IT infrastructure, servers, storage devices. I was doing network design, all that sort of stuff for the F-35. So I built programs in hardware over there. So there, when we were there, it was the U.S., the U.K., the Australians, the Dutch, the Marines, the Navy, everyone. They were all part of this program, right?
Wow.
So I'm at work, and let me tell you, man, the Dutch, yeah. I didn't know they were the tallest race of people in the world, but yeah, I could see it, bro.
Yeah, no, they are. They're very tall people.
Yeah, bro, trippy. I'm like, how do you even fit in a jet, right? How do you fit?
Oh,
in
the
this jet?
pilots.
You're like 6'5".
Wow.
Yeah, even the pilots, bro. And these were like big time dudes. Like there's one guy, he was a pilot. He was the commander for the Dutch. His name was De Smet. Famous, bro. You could pull this fool up on Google, right? He's like a freaking celebrity out in this country and all, you know. So I'm like, okay, I guess. So yeah, but you got all these people over there. So there was a lot of money invested in this program. So I was working at F-35. This is where we'll get into my a definite fork in the road in my life. So
Let me guess.
I was
You
there
stole
from
a plane.
20. No, I wish it was that cool. No. I woke in and I took it for a joyride and I landed it.
You stole a plane for a
landed
secret
itself.
mission with your renegade buddies that you met in the military.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
of which has a
but-
mohawk.
Yeah. Right. We called him, Goose and Iceman.
Yeah.
So, but what's cool about the F-35, which people probably don't know, is it's a connection. This is all stuff I'm not going to have anyone busting down my door and arresting me for this, but it's it works on a system called Alice, where it's an autonomic logistics information system, right? So the jet talks back to a group of systems and servers for all of its like maintenance. It preemptively orders parts and hardware. It's like Cyberdyne Systems, bro.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a trip,
I
bro.
love it. I love it. People always, why does the government spend so much on military, and they're just that's our tax dollars. I always go, and we win. And period. We're rich, we're the most powerful nation in all of the world. My dad was in the military, and many, many years ago, and I remember being a kid. I was a different kid when it came to like current events and news and stuff. I mean, I played and had GI Joes and stuff, but I would watch the news with my parents, and they'd watch like world news because it like come on after local news, and they would talk about the USSR and the potential threat of nuclear war in the 80s, and like I took that stuff serious. And my dad, he would tell me, all these crazy stories about they'd be marching, and there's a underground base out in the desert, and they just march, and you wouldn't even know. It was like all these crazy things. And he goes, I'm going to tell you what, for the little bit they showed us, because he wasn't like, he didn't have special clearance or anything. He goes, we have nothing to worry about in this country. He goes, if we have something to worry about, the world has something to worry about. And I was like,
absolutely, bro.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. And that's the thing is, as people don't understand, like when I got into working for the DOD, right, I was sitting there, and I remember like one of my first days, I had to take like a whole test about like, like just sharing information and don't talk about things, blah, 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 blah. Other countries, adversaries are always listening, blah, blah, blah. And I remember seeing like the B-1 bomber, right? I mean, I mean, the B-1, I probably saw the B-1 flying around like 2 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. Dude, that bomber was made in like 1950 or something, bro.
Right. Yeah, they still fly them out here at this Air Force base, Dobbs Air Force Base in Marietta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and you're seeing that thing still flying. Like, bro, what is there that exists that we don't even know about?
Oh, right? Yeah, big time. I have great respect for the military in that. I always say, like I said before about spending tax dollars, I go, hey, we're on the side that wins. Would you rather them
Yeah.
spend less and we have to go depend on another country to save us, like some other people in NATO? There's a reason we go
Yeah.
first, even though we're a part of NATO. It's because we're the most powerful nation. I'm fine with that.
Oh, by far,
Yeah.
by far, bro. There's no arguing anything. I mean, you talk about, you made a point about your dad who was talking about like underground bunkers, underground, big things, bro. Like people don't even know, like Area 51 in Nevada is part of Edwards Air Force Base.
Oh, is it?
So yeah,
Wow.
it's actually a part of Edwards. Edwards goes way out into like the Nevada Test and Training Range and all that stuff, all the way out. So I mean, but yeah, Area 51 is part of Edwards Air Force Base. So
Wow.
there's places at Edwards, bro, that has all sorts of crazy stuff that you don't even know about.
It's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, but like the F-35, and stuff. I was working on that, and that jet's awesome. That's still doing. I mean, now they got like the B-21 and other newer jets that are coming out. NGAD, the next generation air defense, all this stuff out there, which is just letting everyone know. Yes, I'm still in Palmdale, right? I'm still in the AV. But coming back to that, like 2015. I had an unfortunate. I was an idiot, and I was still, apparently I'm not young. I was still 35 or something like that, right?
Right.
Made a stupid decision, got involved with someone that ended up getting me into some trouble, and I ended up having to leave the government for about 2 years, right? So, so I was in a point in my life where I kind of, it was like, all right, this is what I do. This is what I know. I was still working. I was still doing the same kind of stuff. I was employed. I wasn't unemployed, but I still had that situation that happened, which, like I said, we can get into details some other time. Um, really set my life on a trajectory that I really wasn't sure like what was going to happen. Right. So I'm married. I was married, and you probably, I don't know if you know my wife, Keith. She used to go to Highland. Her name was Jennifer Martinez.
Okay.
She's
I knew this was going to come up, and it's funny.
uh-huh.
I know your wife. I don't know her. I don't
Yeah.
now. I don't know. I think this is a good thing now as an adult. I didn't know her. I want to say Matt knew her more than I did. I know she
Okay.
lived near my parents' house. She had to
Correct. Yes.
because this is what, 94, 95, 96. Nobody we knew back then, like now, young people listening to this, oh yeah, you meet your buddies at the gym, five deep, doing legs the entire time for an hour and a half, and you can't do 10 pull-ups. It's all trendy is what I'm saying, oh, we're going running and all these different things and we're running on the beach. No one was doing that. And I say all that for a reason, because it looked really weird when in the 90s, I'd be riding my bike up to Marie Kerr to go play basketball, and she would be jogging. And I'm not
Okay.
saying just jogging. Like, I remember, like, she was like determined. Like, she was like a fitness person. And she, to my knowledge, didn't talk to a whole lot of people. I took it
Uh-huh.
as, she's too cool for school. I was like, dang. And I don't know what she's running. I don't know if she did something for Highland, like ran cross
Yeah.
country or something, but
She ran track. Yeah.
oh, okay. Tell me something, because she didn't hang with any people that I knew. And I was just always like, there goes that chick again. I'm like, I don't know. They say she goes to our school. I'm pretty sure she goes to our school.
Yeah.
And, yeah, no. And then I had heard, gosh, many years ago now, like, cause it's Palmdale, like eventually everybody meets everybody in Palmdale, no matter what school they went to. And I had heard you guys were talking, and I was like, oh, that's that little chick that would work out. Like, she
Yeah.
would work out hard. Like, even like
Yeah.
the 24-hour fitness days, she always by herself. She would be working out super hard, like in really good shape. And I'm like, dang, man, she's dedicated. I don't know what her story is. I never talked to her, at least I remember. Whoa.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It's a trip, bro. The first time I met her, was we were at Palmdale High School, bro, and we used to, after football games, we would all go to McDonald's on 25th and S. right?
Oh yeah.
And she rolled in there one day. She didn't even go to Palmdale. She went to Highland, but she rolls in with one of our friends from Palmdale. And I'm like, who the heck is this chick, bro?
Just
Like,
smacking
dope.
burgers
You
out of
know, I'm just
everybody's
like I
hand,
said, she
handing
got
them
light
lettuce.
eyes, long dark hair. When you say little chick, yeah, bro, she's like 5'11. She's like 4'11,
Yeah,
right?
she's
So
a
she's
little
tiny.
person. I remember that.
Um,
Yeah.
and she rolls in I was whatever in high school, dude. I was a little chunky, whatever. I didn't play sports, but she comes in, she's talking to me, bro, and I shared my French fries with her,
Oh,
and it
really?
was love at first sight, right?
Nice. Nice. So this goes, but we were all still in high school when you met her then.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Uh-oh.
Sorry, my earpiece disconnected, but
Oh, okay.
but yeah, bro. So we were in high school when I first met her, bro. So probably like 1995, 96, maybe,
Okay.
which is a trip. And then all of a sudden, fast forward like 10 years, bro. I see her again out at, like, we were at Red Robin in the mall, right?
Uh-huh.
Which was the spot to hang out late
Oh,
night,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And we were at Red Robin, and she was up in there, and I saw her, and still, bro, yeah, shirt, half cut shirt, just looking dope. And I went and talked to her, bro, and yeah, bro, and it was just that, and we started talking again from there, bro. So it was a trip, bro. That how it kind of worked out, and now we got married in 2011 after dating for like forever, because I was still confused and didn't know what I wanted in life, and but yeah, bro, we got which will lead back into where I was going with my story of my life, but
The fork in the road.
we have a 10-year-old son, um, and he was born in 2014, and we have two twin girls that were born in 2017. So we just had my son, right? So now we'll fast forward back to where my fork in the road. So I got a son at home who's not even barely a year old, and I got this situation going on in my life, right? Legal issues and stuff like that. It was nothing bad. I didn't kill no one. I didn't hurt no one. I didn't,
Hey,
not a,
it's your
yeah.
story. I'll let you tell it. It was
But
illegal male
yeah.
dancing, right? That you
There,
know.
you got me. You got me. I was stripping in the evenings. Stripping in
Yeah,
the evenings.
at Red Robin. No one asked for it, but you felt compelled.
But yeah, bro. So I'm at this point in my life where I'm kind of like, holy crap, man, what am I gonna do? And today I will tell you, bro, nothing bad happened. Obviously, I'm here. I'm not in jail. I didn't serve no time in jail. But it made me open my eyes, bro, and go, hey, I'm just going through the groove every day, right?
Right.
I'm going to work. I'm doing whatever. I'm collecting a paycheck. But it was just like, hey, bro, wake up. Like, life is serious. You can't do stupid crap, right?
Yeah.
You can't do stupid crap. You can't hang with stupid people, right?
That's the thing.
And yeah, bro, and it opened my eyes and said, you know what? I need to get my crap together, right? And mind you, I was always doing good. I always made good money. I have a really nice house in freaking West Palmdale right now. Over by the golf course, pool, spa, palm trees. And
Camels,
like
all of it. Yeah, no, I heard.
everything, bro. Yeah, my camel, my sheik out back.
You got a tiger. You got a tiger tied to the tree across the yard. You bring everyone out and point to the tiger. That's a ground.
Exactly. Yeah,
Scarface
exactly,
style.
bro. but like, I was like, you know what? I need to get my craft together, bro. And to this day, I would not change a thing, bro, with what happened in my life, because from that point I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I enrolled in school online, got my bachelor's degree. So I got my bachelor's degree in information assurance and cybersecurity. I got certifications for cybersecurity, what's called the CISSP, which is like the highest information assurance cybersecurity certification you can get in the industry.
That's awesome, man.
Got that. Yeah, got that. And after I got my bachelor's, I re-enrolled and I got my master's degree. So I got my master's in information technology management. And I just focused more on just bettering myself, bro. You know, just getting myself back together, bettering myself, you know, doing something more with my life. And I got a call back from the government, and they wanted me to come back right after all the crap was over and everything was done. They wanted me to come back, so I came right back to the F-35 program, right, the same job I had before, but this time I came back as a technical lead for the F-35, and I've been there since, bro. And but I got all my industry certs. Like I said, I was a technical lead for the F-35 program till about 2 years ago, or about a little bit, no, about a year ago. And now I am the prime contractor for Edwards Air Force Base. It's called JT4. And I am now branch supervisor for JT4. And I also do network design and architecture for the government. So I do stuff for a building, this brand new building called the FTEL. It's a 69,000 square foot building with a 25,000 square foot skiff. I don't know if you know what a skiff is.
No,
skiff,
I was going to pretend I did, but no.
Yeah. You ever hear people on the government where they're like, we can take this in the skiff if you want to talk about it? Or the skiff is like, it's a top secret SCI. So SCI, so when you have a government clearance, you have what's called like, you have a regular clearance, which is like a secret, a top secret. And then you have other clearances. You have program clearances, which is like, this jet does this. This jet is capable of doing this whatever. It has this capability. Those are program clearances, right?
Uh-huh.
So those are called SAP clearances, special access programs. And then above SAP, you have what's called SCI. SCI is like aliens, right? SCI is intelligence.
So you know where they're hiding Megatron. Okay, you were in on that.
You go, right?
You got him frozen in a big old cave under the Hoover Dam. Yeah, okay.
Under the Hoover Dam, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. So it has a big old SCI facility over there. But yeah, man, and I also do consulting. I do IT consulting on the side. So I do a couple businesses out here where I build networks and do IT infrastructure and all stuff for them. So, but yeah,
a little
man,
money laundering. Okay.
Yeah. You know, hey, it's all on my taxes. I get 1099, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure you do. Sure. if the IRS is listening, I get 1099.
That's awesome, man. Now let me ask.
Yeah, bro. It's just go ahead.
No. I was gonna say. I didn't mean to cut you off. For a young person that's listening to this right now, going, "This dude sounds cool, and his job sounds cool." I mean, I even feel like yourself, your brother, and a few other people. I mean, I host it, right? So I talk to everybody. There's been a few times where I'm like, dang it, time machine, take me back to 1997. I gotta do a do-over because now I want to do this. Man, I had no idea. And this is no different. Now, for a young person who still has time, what would be your best advice to them to, I don't want to say follow in your footsteps, but get involved with, should they just go to, I mean, I'm thinking as a young person, this is not my own personal question, but should they go to the military and try to focus on IT, or should they go around that and just do what you did and go to an IT school, tech school, quote unquote? What would be your best advice? What's the shortest route, I should say, most direct route without wasting time?
And I'm not gonna. I mean, mind you, like I said, I got my bachelor's, I got my master's, and at no point would I ever be like, forget school, right?
Right.
I will say that that part of the motivation for my master's degree was for me to say, hey, I can check that box, and if it's me and Hollis Bowers trying to get the same job, and Hollis doesn't have a degree, or Hollis has a master's and I didn't, I wasn't going to let that be the deciding factor, right? So that's why I said, you know what? I'm going to get my master's, and I'm going to, so I can check that box and say, hey, I'm not going to let that guy get one over on me.
No, right? You're absolutely right. I think that's true for everyone's field. I don't know. We kind of, when you go to a tech school or learn a trade, you it's not really promoted, but it's kind of like, hey, you don't need their stinking degree. You got a skill and
Yeah.
you learned it. And then when you realize, well, I want to be more than just this dude who works on stuff. Oh, well, they're
Yeah.
not going to let you to that upper echelon unless you actually have your
Yep.
degree. And it's like, well, hold on now.
Exactly.
Oh, it can't be
Yeah.
because I'm just a super duper tech. Well, we'll let you be a
Yep.
supervisor, but no, you ain't going to manage the whole branch. No, you need to have your bachelor's.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yep.
You want to be a
Yeah.
worker bee for the rest of your life? Sure. Trade all the
Yeah.
way.
And that's how it is. And now my boss is pushing me to get my doctorate. So I may be a
Jeez,
doctoral student soon enough. Yeah,
Doctor
maybe a
Kevin.
doctoral student soon. We'll see if I want to invest that time. If the time and effort is worth, if the juice is worth the squeeze, right? So we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah, I
But
like that.
but back to your question. I do. There's so many resources, man. There's so many resources. I mean, like I said, nothing against college, man, but you can get so much information from YouTube, right? From
Mm.
YouTube, from just online. If there's something that you want to do and you're focused on it, the resources are there, man. You don't need
They're
to.
far more than they used to be
Absolutely,
for us. I mean,
absolutely, bro.
my dad would be
They're
like, "Go
there.
buy a newspaper
Yeah,
and see what jobs are available." Like, newspaper, that's for old
yeah.
people. Like, yeah, there was no internet. There was internet, but I don't think there was Google, not like it is now.
No, no,
Definitely
man.
no
There was.
YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, bro. And that's the thing is if you know what you want to do, there's nothing to stop you from even if you can't get into college, if you don't have the money for college or you don't have the money for school. I mean, that the resources are there, bro. And I'll tell you, experience goes a long way, bro. Right? Just having that knowledge and showing that you know what you're talking about, you know what you're trying to do. Just get that knowledge and get your foot in the door. Network. Get to know people. Go to different things that are involved with kind of what your interest is, and network, man. Make connections. I mean, I'll say this: not a single one of us, none of us, and you touched on this in one of your things you were talking about where you went with and interviewed for your job, and they were like, oh, you're I don't know. Oh, yeah, you're. I forgot your father's name, but you're his
Oh
son. Oh,
yeah,
Hollis, right?
Hollis. Yeah, his name is
You're,
Hollis too.
you're his.
Yeah,
You're his son.
yeah,
Yeah, you're his son. Oh, you're good, man. Don't even worry about it, right?
yeah.
And not a single one of us got to where we are today without the help of someone else.
Very true. Very true.
You know, and
Yeah.
and that's the thing, man. Is you make relationships and you make connections, bro. And I hire people. I mean, I hire people now. I mean, I'm hiring people for jobs making $140,000 a year, and it's like, just because like people are like, hey, Kevin, I need a job, and they know me, and if they have the skills or they have the background, a lot of things what's going on with the government right now, right? Government's cutting a bunch of jobs, right? They're trimming the fat. I have
Right.
people from the government hitting me up every day saying, hey, Kevin, I might need a job, man. Give me a resume,
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
they know me,
Right. No,
So,
it's all. This
yeah,
life is
definitely.
all about connections, man.
Absolutely,
You
bro.
cannot walk through this life, and I taught my daughters that since they were little kids. Do not be a deaf mute.
I'll tell you, man. I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head with it. Also, it's like you can go back and you can talk. You can think of all our friends, right?
Yeah.
Like you, me, my brother, Johnny. People like that, right? It's like, bro, every one of us are personable people, right?
It's true.
And we were out there, and I'll say, bro, honestly, I've gone to where I am in life, where I am in my career, goes a lot into just being out there, showing face, getting to know people, being the guy that people remember,
Yeah.
right? So when
Yeah.
people go, oh, they go, oh, Keith, oh yeah, I know Keith. Keith's cool. Or oh yeah, Kevin. It's getting people to know your name, who you are,
Hmm.
and just going out there and just being a human being with people, bro. Just go out there,
Yeah.
talk to people, get to know people.
Never
I don't
gets
care
old.
who you are, bro. You could be a general. You could be. I work with people that are GS-15s that are the highest of positions on the base, and I talk to them like anyone else, bro.
Man,
They,
yeah, I won't get
you
started
know,
on one of my real estate rants, but same thing here. Same thing here. I used to
yeah,
talk to those people, And I'd find out afterward, I'd get off the phone with him. I go, yeah, I got a meeting with Mr. So-and-so, and it'd be somebody in the office. You know who that is? And I'm like, who?
Yeah.
He owns the, pro team, whoever, the Kings. I'm just making something up right now. The LA Kings. He's responsible for all of such and such on the East Coast. And I'm like, really? Huh. Yeah. Well, he enjoyed my story about meeting Magic Johnson once after deciding to smoke weed and have alcohol at the same time. Yeah, no, just true story. But And he's like, you talk to him like that? And I'm like, that's the reason I got the meeting. These people, when you try to come like a robot and you're not personable and, they can tell you're almost reading from a script, you want something from them, you're not genuine. Yeah. You can't fake being genuine. You can't. And they can see when you want to take something from them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've talked to, like I said, I talk to people and, and I get to know people and that's just my personality, right? I'm just it's just who I am, man. But yeah, man, it definitely goes a long way, man. Just being out there. Like I got people that I have to, do pay increases or raises for. And if I don't know you, then you're not going to be on the top of my head, man. You're not going to be that person.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're going to sit in the closet all day and not talk and be shut down, I'm going to overlook you, man. Cause I don't even know who you are.
You better be,
so
I tell my kids, I go, you better own your own company. Like your own pirate ship. That's the only way you can be a deaf mute in this world and be very successful. You better have a goose that lays golden eggs. You better invent the next iPhone or something, because if you have to depend on people, forget about it. Forget it. You have to be able to talk. And both of them can talk. I made sure that for that reason. Well, sir.
It's
go ahead,
sir.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I was just going to touch back on like how I said, like, I definitely am, like growing up, right? People always ask about like, oh, this and that, like everyone that we hung out with were good, was a good group of people, right? So we definitely we didn't hang around with knuckleheads. We didn't hang around with idiots.
We knew them.
So I think, we did absolutely, but we knew them, but that wasn't part of our group, right? It was people like you said. It was Studley, you, me. You remember Eddie Dahl, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Eddie, he's
Jason
still around.
Duffy.
Yeah, Eddie. Yeah, Jason Duffy. These are all people that weren't out. We did our things. We went out. We hung out, did stuff, but we weren't causing trouble. We weren't part of those groups of people, right? And it's really, bro, you're a product of your environment, right? And what's that saying that says, like I think you touched on it, like you said, like show me your 10 closest friends, and
I know who you are.
And I know who you are, man. And that's so true, man. Like we grew up. People ask my mom, how'd your kids grow up so good? How'd John and Kevin grow up so this, and how are they so successful? And it's like, well, number one, my mom used to whip the hell out of butts. Right?
Oh, you and me both.
Bro,
no, my mom.
I used to get whipped by my mom till I told her, Mom, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Oh, I remember. I remember catching the belt in my hand like Neo from the Matrix, and she was like, oh, I realized right away, I was like, stupid. I said, you should have just let her do her thing.
Yeah.
And
bro.
She's like, oh, so you bad, huh? You bad? And I was like,
okay.
And that's when the punishments, no Sega Genesis for 2 weeks. I just got Lakers versus Bulls. No, dang. And I was like, no, you can hit me. It does hurt. I was just trying to, no. Yeah.
But really, bro, I mean, we were good kids. We hung out. We were close. I could bring, like, you could cut it out, but I was like, do I want to bring up Bitcoin? Because do I want to like put it out to the world that I have money and people can come and like put a target on my head?
I think you've already done that with your top secret stories of aliens and Transformers. But then government secrets are fine. I just don't want to give my money away. Okay, I get it.
But it's like, but yeah, man, I mean, that's a conversation you and I can get in more in depth offline. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
man,
for sure.
I'm big in investing, man, big in investing, just taking my money and I live a pretty simple life, bro. I don't blow money on a lot of crap. I invest my money where I want and stuff. I do stuff with the family, but yeah, man, it's you wise up, man. You
No,
wise
you
up as you get
definitely
older.
do.
I will say I do have a pair of Jordan ones that are in the box, put away. And so I'll commend you on your Jordans.
Ooh,
But that's the
well,
only
why,
pair of
thank you.
shoes.
Why, thank you.
That's the only pair that I have that are just that I bought and just left them there.
Keep it that
So
way.
yeah,
Trust me.
I'll wait for them. I'll wait for them to appreciate when assets start going up.
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm gonna stop because I will get on a rant about shoes. It's a really good one, but no, I won't. All right. We've been talking for a while. I want to kind of bring this to a close. I got a couple of questions I'm sure you're familiar with. I forgot to ask John. We got so wrapped up in his life, I forgot to ask him the question
Yeah,
I'm
man.
about to ask you. In your past, was there a job that was so bad, so very bad, that you forgot you were getting paid to do it? You went in every day or, working part-time, whatever it was, where it didn't even feel like you were getting paid. You hated the job so much. The actual manual labor was so bad that you're like, they pay you and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot I was getting paid. That's how much I hate this job.
You know what? Unfortunately, bro, I haven't had a lot of jobs in my life, right? If I had to go back, I'd go back to like how John said, man. We were working with my dad at Jack in the Box down in Northridge. I'm a high school or I'm a college kid waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to
Bananas.
drive to Northridge with my parents to work at Jack in the Box till from what, like 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. Just slaving.
Oh, yeah.
It sucked, bro. But I mean, other than that, I think I've had 3 jobs in my life, right?
All right, Mr. Kevin. Well, that brings us to the close of the show. You know, don't be a stranger. I know we hadn't talked in a really long time. And this will be a longer episode than most, but it's because we kind of play some catch up too. Yeah, don't be a stranger, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, with the shortest amount of notice and less conversation than most, you're like, yeah, man, let's do it. I can do it this weekend. I really appreciate it. I've had a lot of people that are, like I said before, that are trying to be on the show, but their schedules, I mean, golly, you would think these people are celebrities. I get it though, because my schedule gets a little kooky too for trying to tape these things. I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you.
No, and same to you, man. I mean, like you had said on previous episodes, I mean, when you got good friends and you're good people, and I think this is a thing that I think guys can do a lot easier than females. Nothing against females, but we can go 20 years, bro, without talking, and pick up the phone and like you did when you called me earlier this morning. We right off the bat, boom. Oh, what's up? Da, 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 started talking about stuff, and
Yeah.
and it's
Pick
awesome
up right where
to
you
be
left
able
off.
to. Yeah, bro. Yeah, like you were still living down the street, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's like you just pick up and you talk it's awesome to hear from you, man. It's awesome to hear that you're doing good, your family's doing well.
Same to you, man.
Please, tell them all I said hi. Kelly, your sister,
Oh, for
everyone,
sure.
man. And like I said, for all I know, that bird's still alive too. Those things live like 100 years.
No,
Bro,
my
so.
mom got rid of those birds, Randy and Clarence. Yeah, yeah. Remember those birds that scream bloody murder?
Bro, I was at your house one day and it sounded like a child was screaming from the other room. I was like someone was getting murdered, and it was the bird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You were
But,
around. Was it you that got bit by Pedro? I know.
Probably, bro.
I remember. I know Millie got bit by Pedro. He was this green little parrot thing. I don't remember what breed he was, but I remember he could talk, guys. I probably haven't talked about Pedro. He was a bird my mom got from some old lady because I think she was like going to a nursing home kind of situation, or she had passed away. But this bird was 80 years old. You know, birds live a long time. And the couple that had the bird before us was going through a divorce. So this bird would, I don't think they know what they're saying. I was told, at least back then, they just recite things that they hear over and over. So this bird, whenever it would hear us yelling or arguing about something, it would just start saying, F you, F you. It wouldn't say F you, it would say the whole word. And sometimes we'd have the sheet over the cage because it's supposed to like go to sleep, I guess. I don't know. I never really got into them. I tried to hold the birds and my mom's like, he's going to bite you. I'm like, all right, I ain't playing around. But this bird would cuss. It would sing songs. It sang this song, Don't Cry for Pedro. It go, don't cry. I'm not joking. It would go, don't cry for Pedro. He would sing. It was like playing with a toy where you could pull the string and it would just say certain, things or whatever, or it would start laughing. The only thing that would get creepy, we'd come back from those late nights in Old Town Pasadena and 3rd Street Promenade, and I'd come in eating my Del Taco in the kitchen area, which is where he was, and you would just hear yeah. He would do this Three Stooges laugh, and I'd be like, "Shut up, stupid bird!" And he'd be like, "F you." I'm like, "Shut up, shut." And if you got louder with it, no. Kevin was around for that. Yeah, he's like that.
He was laughing at you wasting your life away.
Yeah, basically. He's 80 years old. He knew a lot, right? He knew more than me. Yeah, should have asked him for advice. Who knows?
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, I just, like I said, man, I just want to thank you for the opportunity, man. It's been great catching up with you. And
for sure,
definitely, man. I won't be a stranger. You don't be a stranger.
For sure.
It was awesome, man.
I got to get some Bitcoin advice, especially nowadays with our guy in office talking about making crypto deal and everything. I'm like, look, I'm on for it. I'm all for it. I'm like, let's do it. Let's get this money. No tax on overtime. I'm sorry. I want it all.
Yeah, bro.
I want it all.
I'm waiting for the no tax, no capital gains tax.
That's man. Is he trying to get no capital gains tax?
Yeah, bro. They're talking about no capital gains on crypto, on American made crypto, which is like other crap coins. Right. And possibly Bitcoin, which, like I said, I've learned my lesson. And like I said, I sit here and talk to you, and I understand that you can edit all this stuff out, so I can still.
Oh yeah, no, I keep it in.
Yeah, I try. Yeah, I know, right? I try to stay on subject, but then I'm like, oh, Keith can edit this out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's like, I've lost a lot of money in crypto. I've lost much more than I have now, right?
Yeah.
And just dealing with crap coins, crap like Dogecoin, all that kind of stuff. Don't waste your money on it, man. If you're going to invest, buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to be around forever. It's a completely different breed of cryptocurrency. You say this, there's Bitcoin and there's crypto. They're two separate things. Don't convolute the two and put them together. Right. They're two separate things, man. And yeah, man, if things work out with what Trump's saying, man, I'm straight, bro.
Like I was telling my wife the other day, I said, you know what's funny? For all the people who aren't down with his situation, no tax on overtime. I said, now here's where we find out, and I challenge anyone to say they're going to do it and show me that they did it. Okay, you're not getting taxed on your overtime. Because you don't agree with his policies or him as a person, are you just going to calculate that overtime that you would have been taxed for? And when tax time comes, there is a slot when you do your income taxes or when you get a job. Do you want to give an additional amount of money to the government as a donation? I want you to give that money. Go ahead and give the money that you would have been taxed. Go ahead and give the tax money. And I know instantly, oh, no, I ain't doing that. Oh, okay. Because, so you, I get it. So you are down.
It's because it's my money, Keith.
Yeah, it's my money. I can decide what
it's my money.
How convenient. How convenient.
Politics. We can have a politics and crypto pod one day.
Yeah,
I could go on forever, man. But
I can too.
Man, when it comes to the way things are,
All right, man. Let's stop because I'm sure.
Got it.
I know I'm going to get some comments on this one. Hey, if you like this episode, leave a comment. Leave a nice one. Yeah, it's amazing. All right, I won't. Now my mind is just bubbling with it. I'm gonna have to do a second podcast topic, a second podcast. Anyhow, hey, if you guys enjoyed this episode, catching up with my good friend Kevin, if you know him, give him a shout out. Let him know what's up and tell somebody about the podcast. Tell a friend. Kevin, I'd ask you as well. I always ask all my guests, please share it in any social media you have, or anybody out there, even if you haven't been a guest. I don't know how you do it. Screenshot, my mug, my profile or whatever on Spotify or whatever it is, and just put it in your stories or, whatever. Just help a brother out. That's my marketing for the most part. Just get the word out there. I appreciate it. If you enjoy it, share it with a friend. All right. Well, everybody get home safe. Whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoyed this, and God bless. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.